Hey guys, Mars Thinking here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so another legendary summon banner has come to global with the Goku and Piccolo banner, which means another opportunity for you guys to spend your yellow gacha coins on a summonable LR. Now, when it comes to buying units with coins, whether it's a red coin unit or yellow coins, I do normally recommend, especially for free-to-play players who don't summon a huge amount, so, your coins are precious to you. I definitely recommend you getting a unit that you don't have, as opposed to a dupe for a unit that you already have. I certainly would never recommend buying the final copy. Like, if you have a unit with 3 dupes, especially if you're someone who doesn't get coins on a hugely regular basis, do not buy that final copy, because the difference between 90% and 100% isn't really all that crazy. And you're just putting yourself into that horrible position where you know that the next legendary summon banner that comes along that you decide to throw a couple of multis at, you certainly don't want to then see that unit appear in the summons. So even when it comes to red coin units, I don't like to buy that final copy. So for yellow coins, obviously we have a whole selection of LRs available. With the arrival of this banner, you can see up on the screen now we have the Tech LR Super 17. He has been added into the coin shop for global. So he was not available with the previous LR banner, and he has been added in now. So that's the one major change to the coin shop since the last LR banner, which was of course the Gohan and Krillin and the Goku and Vegeta banner from the second part of the download celebration. So I decided to focus the video around him, put him in the thumbnail just to give my thoughts on this LR. How well he has aged, or not well, I guess, is should you buy Tech LR Super 17 with yellow coins? And some of you may be shocked by this, some of you maybe not, because you've heard me talk about this unit before, but obviously a lot of you guys know I'm a huge fan of Super 17. I have, obviously my webcam thing isn't on at the moment, but I even have like a little Super 17 keychain on my microphone. But unfortunately, and it pains me to say this unit is not that great. Like, he actually can put out some decent numbers. So I decided to run the GT Bosses team again yesterday just to sort of see how it was going in preparation for Sin Shenron getting his Easy A very soon. I did do a video about how you can easily get his Easy A medals without having to use any stamina, so check that out if you haven't seen it. But I wanted to have another look at the GT Bosses team, and unfortunately the GT Bosses team, at least where it's at on global, especially thinking about more difficult content, is definitely in a very weird place, because Super 17 is the leader, but the way that his passive works, so he gets attack and defense 170%, which is pretty solid, but then he gets an additional attack and defense 17% per android's category ally, self-excluded, attacking in the same turn. So he's the GT Boss's leader. Obviously he has androids as a sub-lead, 4 key, 150 across the board, which is a decent leader skill for a summonable LR. We don't like seeing that 130% nonsense. But to get him at his full potential, you have to have 2 other androids on the rotation with him, which obviously kind of defeats the point of him being a GT Bosses leader, because they did not put Hellfighter 17 on the GT Bosses category. So there are, I think, no other androids on GT Bosses other than the AGL Super 17. So obviously you can run him on the team thanks to the same name update, but if he is going to end up on the same rotation for giving this buff, they don't link. So you kind of need to have the AGL one in slot 3. And so just a bit of a strange design for a non-androids team. He also gets an additional attack and defense 17% per target Goku category ally. Now that does have some crossover with GT Bosses, but obviously not every single unit. None of the Shadow Dragons are on target Goku, for example, attacking in the same turn. He reduces damage received by 17%, and then an additional attack 17% for 3 turns after the turn in which an attack was received. So this is a really odd mechanic. It's not straight away after an attack like some other units, which honestly is actually more useful. This is the turn after. So if you put him in slot 1 on turn 1 and he gets hit like 6 times, this isn't going to activate, and then when he comes around again on turn 3, then it will be activated, and it's activated for 3 turns. The other annoying thing about this when you're doing some of the more difficult content is you actually need to make sure you're keeping track of what's going on with those 3 turns, because once that 3 turns has expired and he comes back onto rotation again, he no longer has that 17% damage reduction until he then gets hit again, and then it doesn't activate until the next rotation. So strange design. He also has a high chance of key +1 with each attack received up to +7. So there's a lot of wonky things about his design. I really don't understand why the key gaining from attacks received is random, where it's 50% rather than just being guaranteed. I don't think that minor change would have made him OP whatsoever. So that's a very odd one. Definitely should have that as a permanent thing, I think. And then even like the damage reduction, I think it would be better if he had that all the time. But yeah, he is GT Boss's leader, who doesn't really fit all that well on the GT Boss's team. So once he's been attacked 7 times, he has an active skill, which just does big boy damage. It also lowers the enemy's attack and defense, so it can be useful for... Well, I was going to say it could be useful for Super Battle Road, but you have to be attacked 7 or more times. So obviously, depending on the stage and how many enemies are in each fight, you might not even actually get to see this before the end. Although you might get to use it as like a finisher to take out the last person without having to risk taking any attacks on that turn. So he is a good unit, but for GT bosses, he's just so weird. Like, running him on an Android team is actually probably your best bet, but Androids is another category that has not seen any love in quite a long time. We're going to get the Halloween card that comes out with Android 8 and Android 17, but I seriously doubt they're going to be like a top tier card that saves that category somehow. So when we look at GT bosses, obviously 17 is the main leader, then we have the sub lead is the LR Shadow Dragon army, which we don't even have on global yet. Hopefully that will come to global sometime soon, because this team really needs it. And then look how small the category is. Like, this is all the TURs. And this physical Nova doesn't even work on this team because he's a super type support unit. And you've got units like GT Frieza and GT Cell who are just super outdated and can't really be used at all. Same with Baby. So realistically, when you're looking at difficult content, the units that you can actually use are the LR Super 17, AGL Super 17. This Nova is a pretty decent support and is good defensively after his Easy A. Oceanus is actually pretty good because she raises defense on super and can multiple super in each turn. LR Baby is obviously pretty good, and you can use a good combo of him with the Rildo if you have him, but of course the 50% support units are pretty difficult to come by. Sin is going to get his Easy A, as I said, and the STR Omega can be pretty good, and then Rildo with his Awakening is quite good. So the team is incredibly restrictive. So honestly, if you're thinking about picking up LR Super 17 with your yellow coins, I probably would just advise against it. Like, unless he's the only LR you don't have and you really want to get him to like round out your collection, I honestly don't recommend it, which is, like I say, crazy for me to say because I love Super 17, but I do not think he is worth your yellow coins, especially at this stage. So speaking of some of the other top picks, I won't go over these in too much detail because we talked about them in previous videos, but oh, this is the Shadow Dragons LR, by the way. GT Boss's sub-lead for 130, but they're a GT Boss's support unit. They have a ton of other good abilities. I mean, you can pause the video if you want to really read what they do, but we really need this unit to come to global for GT Bosses to have even a chance at being like a reasonably good team to run. So the other unit that we can consider is LR Turles. LR Turles is probably my favourite summonable LR in the game at the moment, or at least non-like Dokkan Fest in terms of yellow coin LRs. Probably my favourite LR in the game at this point. Obviously we know that AGL Turles will eventually get an Easy A and be an insane rotation partner for this guy. With the global first Great Ape Easy A's that we saw recently as well, you never know when the Great Ape Turles could get an Easy A. And if he becomes even remotely decent, he'll be a good link partner for this Turles as well. Plus, we do have a big announcement coming up. In fact, by the time this video goes up, I think the Heroes livestream will have already been out. So we may know what the upcoming Heroes units are going to be. And of course, in Heroes recently, we saw Turles with a new form. I can't remember what the official name is. It's like Evil Saiyan or something like that, where he basically has like Super Saiyan 3 hair, but it's still black and he has eyebrows. If they were to bring that into Dokkan, then obviously he would share a lot of these Turles specific links, like Destroyer of the Universe and Thirst for Conquest, that will make a really good rotation partner for the LR Turles. So LR Turles is definitely a great pick. Even at 55%, this guy hits some pretty ridiculous numbers. You can go back over through my channel and check out like the video I did for him when he was at 55%. He is pretty damn good. So he's a very good unit to bring. He's on a lot of great teams like Terrifying Conquerors, Space Traveling Warriors, Planetary Destruction. So he is a top tier pick, I think. Next up, we have the Tech Jiren. Tech Jiren is still a very powerful unit. He's a caveman unit, as Goresh coined the term. He gets a huge amount of attack and defense just straight off the bat. Does a lot of damage. He has an active skill that powers him up and debuffs the enemy, which can obviously be useful. One main thing about him as well is because he is on Space Traveling Warriors, that's one of the missions that people struggle with on the GT Goku event, especially if you're missing the STR Bojack. You can actually run an LR Jiren-led team made up of Universe 11 and Universe Survival Saga units, and that team is capable of beating the GT Goku event to complete that mission. Obviously using characters from those two categories that are all on Space Traveling Warriors. So Jiren is a strong pick. Jiren is actually one of the few LRs that I don't have. I don't need to do that mission, so he's not a unit that I'm super interested in for me personally, just because I don't like Jiren as a character. So I've been slowly but surely picking up the couple of LRs that I don't have just to complete my collection. So next one up, of course, is STR LR Broly, one of the best LRs in the game thanks to the ridiculous EZA that he got. He is very, very good. Obviously, if you don't have him, he is a top pick, especially when you consider that on Global, we are about to have a World Tournament very soon. The World Tournament reward is the Tech Super Saiyan Gohan, who's ridiculously good. I'll do a video more about the World Tournament stuff very soon. So if you're thinking about going in on the tournament to try and get these awesome new cards that are coming out, then having LR Broly obviously is a huge help, because he is basically like the ultimate World Tournament killer. So if you don't have him, he is definitely a solid choice. He's also good in other events. Like before his EZA, he was pretty much relegated to only being a useful World Tournament card. But now he is incredibly good. And then the last one I wanted to talk about, kind of in the same boat. A lot of people don't really talk about this LR anymore because they're not great, let's be perfectly honest, Nappa and Vegeta. But if you already have the Broly, they are another LR that are really, really good in the World Tournament. So I'm actually thinking about picking these guys up because I'm back up to having 500 yellow coins. The only LRs I'm missing now that are actually available in the shop are these guys and Tech Jiren. So a lot of people might call me crazy for picking these guys over Jiren, but I just don't really run a lot of the teams that Jiren is on. I don't know if I would really use them that much, whereas I would use these guys on my World Tournament team. So I am thinking about getting them. Let me know what you guys think down below. So obviously there's, you know, all the other LRs are still in there. Like in LR, Gohan's getting his EZA soon. So if you don't have him, it could be worth picking up a copy of him with the coins. Obviously, you know, all LR EZAs are kind of on the table now at this point because we just never know what's going to be coming in the future. They seem to be more than happy to give EZAs to units that fit the theme of a celebration rather than doing them in like release order or anything like that. So almost no LR is a bad choice. You just don't really want to pick up one of the older bad ones now and then they don't get an EZA for like another year and they just sit in your box not doing anything. So in terms of my top picks from the yellow coin list, it is still going to be LR Turles, the LR Jiren, or LR Broly. So let me know what you guys think down below. Who are you thinking about picking up? Are you at 500 coins? Are you almost at 500 coins? The next one that should be added to the shop eventually will be Tapion and Minosha, but obviously we'll do a video about them as and when that happens. So let me know what you guys think down below. Where are you thinking about spending your coins? Have you bought an LR already? Which one did you get? Let us know all of that down below in the comments section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.